Your Excellency, Prime Minister Masroor Barzani, ministers, generals, diplomatic colleagues, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, good morning, and thank you for the opportunity to speak today on this increasingly important topic. I would like to thank Dr. Dindar Zabari and the KRG Presidency of the Council of Ministers for hosting today's event. I am honored to speak briefly with you about the U.S. government's approach to combating illicit narcotics here in the region and worldwide. First, let me begin by informing you what we are doing in the region to address illicit drugs. This past June, the United States published our interagency strategy for combating Captagon trafficking. In that strategy, we outlined 4 broad lines of effort to address this threat. Support ongoing law enforcement investigations, the use of economic sanctions and other tools, assistance to regional partners and multilateral institutions, and the use of diplomatic engagements and public messaging. Our strategy is focused on 2 tracks: assisting regional partners in their efforts to combat drug trafficking and consumption, and building coordinated approaches to the regional challenge posed by Captagon. In the region, we are providing security assistance to Jordan and Lebanon, who are on the front lines of Captagon production and smuggling. In Jordan, the United States is helping the Jordanian armed forces strengthen their border security, while also helping Jordan's Public Security Directorate reduce the impact of illegal narcotics on local communities. In Lebanon, the Department of State is providing short-term assistance to the Lebanese armed forces and internal security forces to ensure they are able to continue operating and countering security threats, including those posed by drug trafficking. Although Captagon is not produced or widely available in the United States, we are concerned about the impact of Captagon and other harmful drugs on the health, economy, and social welfare of communities across the Middle East, especially here in Iraq, in the Iraqi Kurdistan region, in Jordan, Lebanon, and the Gulf. We are also looking at ways to address drug demand and consumption. The State Department's Bureau of International Narcotics and Law Enforcement supports global programs to integrate substance use prevention, treatment, and recovery with supply reduction measures. This threat of illicit drugs spans well beyond the Middle East, with a network spanning at least 17 different countries, from across Europe to Malaysia. So international coordination is absolutely vital, and we are doing just that. This past July, Secretary Anthony Blinken launched a global coalition to address synthetic drug threats to confront the alarming threat from synthetic drugs, not only in the United States, where synthetic drugs are the #1 killer of Americans aged 18 to 49, but also in Africa, the Middle East, and Asia, where tramadol, Captagon, and ketamine are wreaking havoc on local communities. Since July, the Global Coalition reconvened on the margins of high-level events, such as the 78th UN General Assembly, and we are currently setting up working groups focused on key lines of effort to confront this challenge over the next 12 to 18 months. More than 100 countries and international organizations have already signed on to this effort, including Iraq, as well as Jordan, Saudi Arabia, and the United Arab Emirates, and we hope to see more participate. INL funding for multilateral organizations like the UN Office of Drugs and Crime and the Colombo Plan, as well as international bodies like the International Narcotics Control Board, play a key role in these efforts, helping to share best practices and deliver technical assistance to affected countries. Our efforts to tackle the global synthetic drug threat will also help us to combat Captagon trafficking and consumption. But of course, we cannot ignore the central role of the Assad regime and other malign actors in Syria. We are working closely with our Arab, UK, and EU partners, along with the UN and Syrian opposition, to advance a political process to resolve the Syrian conflict in line with UN Security Council Resolution 2254. These efforts include diplomatic coordination to press the Assad regime to curb its role, and that of others like Hezbollah affiliates in producing and trafficking synthetic drugs. At the same time, our sanctions and other tools, such as visa restrictions, remain important avenues to go after those who we believe are involved in producing and trafficking synthetic drugs such as Captagon. We believe continued coordination on sanctions with our UK and European partners will help to press for accountability for the regime's abuses and constrain the regime's ability to profit from the Syrian conflict. The Department of State is working closely with the U.S. Treasury Department and other interagency partners on these efforts. Finally, I would be remiss if I did not mention the critical role we all play in addressing this multifaceted threat. I want to thank you for bringing together greater attention to this issue, convening events such as today's discussion to look at the challenges and offer paths that the international community should take in confronting drug trafficking, drug use, and other harmful drugs that are negatively impacting our communities. Thank you again for this opportunity, and we look forward to future cooperation with you all. Thank you.